feet are shaking. My foot, them are shake. Oh. So for all the persons, everybody that joined me yesterday, last night on the live, I did much better today, and I'm not exaggerating. I did 10 sets of 10. 10 sets of 10. So that means your girl did 100 in her own time, with her own pace. But the truth is, you know, exercise thing go. You see, the moment you start doing it, you get better. So yesterday was the part of the growing pains, where you kind of know, say, all right, you have to just do it, because you have to just go through the part there before you start get better, right? So yesterday I did really feel a way in myself, because I can't understand how I feel so bad. I'm barely there to 5. I'm barely at 5. I really felt very challenged. I'm on the live. I really felt very challenged, right? Because when did I go and say yesterday? Today I felt better, and this is just a part of, showing, even just reminding yourself that just continue going, just keep doing what you're doing, just push through, even on those days where you feel like, say, you don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Push through even on those days that you feel like you don't want to do it. You have to remind yourself that, listen, you're going to have days where you feel like you don't want to do something, but still just push through. Move forward. As I said last night, if you're even there ground, crawl. If you're even on the ground, crawl. It makes a difference. You understand what I say? Crawl. Anybody on the live, just please like the live, okay? Yeah, just if I ever crawl through, because I'm telling you, today was much better. And this make you feel good in yourself, so you know, say, ear water. I'm going to keep going, because if I continue to go every day, I will feel better. I will feel better once I continue to push through. You understand? So that's my plan for though. I am just now on the phone with my mom, and I was just talking, just a talk, because every year, everybody, a new year, new me, new this, new that, whatever. But the truth is, what I really want to teach my kids, and I've been trying to teach my kids as well, is some things where, hi, how are you? Yeah, I really try to teach my kids them some things where nobody never really take the time out to teach. I think everything is important that they're teaching in school, because it's not all about, because a lot of people we always say, yeah, a lot of people always say, why do my teacher also find X and they're not teaching this and they're not teaching that? Everything in school, I always tell my daughters, school is not just about if you learn the subject and learn the X over find the X. It's also about building character and teaching you principles. That is why school starts at a certain time, classes start at a certain time, you have homework and them have deadlines. It's teaching you principles for the real work. And when you start work starts at the same time, at a certain time too. Sometimes you have little projects with you at a certain time. So that is also the important thing with school. Some people just focus on only the good grades, which is important too, but there are more to it than that. School is also about networking. Your friends, know your friend circle, because depending on the friends that you choose, you might be talking to the next neurosurgeon, you might be talking to the next politician, you might be talking to the next prime minister, you might be talking to the next whatever, you understand? So school is also about networking, finding yourself, finding what works for you, because when you go to school, you have a whole heap of different kind of personalities, whole heap of different kind of people, right? So when you are around everybody, hi, Bexley, how are you? When you're around different kind of people, when you're in school, you will also find what appeal, or what appeals to you, what you like and what you dislike. It's not just about the good grades. As I said, that's a very important part of it, but school is about so much more. And I know I kind of digress a little bit, but I really wanted to speak about some other things that you're supposed to teach your kids. Yes, you're supposed to teach your kids to have manners, this and that. However, we have to teach our kids also about financial education, because that was a part of that was something that I had to learn the hard way. I made a lot of financial mistakes growing up. And it's so funny because my dad was an accountant, and he was an excellent accountant. He was the accountant for one of the biggest families outside of Jamaica, right? And I still wasn't very financially literate, and that's just the truth. Because our parents are sit down and teach us certain things, money management, how to budget, how to save, and certain things. Because since may I get older, I make up my mind, say, you're not really set. It doesn't matter how much money you're making, you're not really set until you have at least 1 year worth of all of your expenses put on. When I say 1 year, I mean 1 year worth of grocery money, and you have to save with the knowledge that things will get more expensive. So if January you save 10,000, you know that February you have to save 15, March you have to save 20, because you also have to save with inflation in mind, right? So to me, you're not truly financially comfortable until you have at least 1 year worth of savings put on, for separate from medical expenses, separate from your little live your little life money. The money here I just say, if one day you sit down and say, here one, may I go through something, I just want to take a 3 months off. I want to take a 3 months off. I don't want to do nothing at all. If you have 1 year money put on, I feel like you're entitled to take 1, 2, or 3 months off. 1 year. But you don't take nothing more than that if you don't have more than 1 year. And when I say 1 year, that's the minimum. And of course, we don't try to work for the minimum. We're not trying to work for the minimum, because me personally, I'm not going to really be comfortable until I can afford to always have 3 years worth of my expenses put down. If a mortgage you pay, 3 years worth of mortgage, light, water, internet, food, travel, grocery, everything. If you have kids in school, them school fees, every single thing that it takes for you to live on a month-to-month basis. If you don't have that put on for at least 1 to 3 years, and of course it can always be more, but 1 to 3 years, me not feel like you're in a position if you're going like see a thing up. Because a lot of people look like them have money because they're living hand to mouth. So every time them get the money, yeah, but that's not what she wants. She wants only the red one with the butter and milk. And so every time them get the money, there's a spin and a live. There's a spend and a live, right? But if them bought them to tomorrow, then they know what to do. And I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards it. I know when it became very real for me, because I have a good friend, and I tell her, say, she's so good with like saving and money. And I saw her not working, and she was able to pay her bills, all her bills, for months, like 9-10 months. And if she wasn't practicing that, she wouldn't have been able to do that. And when I sit down and I said, geez, say really and truly, we really live on the edge. We live dangerously on the edge. Because God forbid we book with two. We don't even have a month worth and nothing to manage. You understand what I say? So I'm not saying you're not supposed to enjoy, because I believe, for me personally, my aim is to have a medical account to put down, medical emergencies, separate from your miscellaneous funds. And I call it miscellaneous, that can include your traveling money, your little idle money if you decide to say you want to go do a little idleness today in the sense like you want to go set ear one. Feel like more go buy 1 ear or more go whatever. That's a one separate account. Your medical expenses in a one separate account, and your livelihood expenses in a one different account. That's what we believe in. That's what I believe in. Also, another thing that I feel like we don't talk about and a lot of people don't know is, when you have your business, you are an employee of your business. A lot of us make that mistake because I've been doing my own thing from like 18 years old. I've always been very entrepreneurial. You know what I mean? I always want to do, I always want to, I always want, I always like working for myself. So I've always been doing something on my own, right? And one thing I didn't learn soon enough, which I wanted to learn this, is when you have a business, you're an employee of your business. The whole of the money you make this month is not profit for you to spend. If you must start off in your business as a junior employee. What would you pay a junior employee just starting, and you gradually increase your pay as it becomes necessary and as it becomes possible? So if you say you pay yourself $10, if you make an extra $50, it don't mean that this month your pay is supposed to be $15. It's still $10 a pay until, according to your contract, where after 1 year you can get an increase. And your increase is not supposed to be exorbitant, it's supposed to be realistic. What would a company realistically increase your pay to be? If they want to increase it by 5 or 10%, increase your pay by 5 or 10% too. Become an employee of your company. Don't just make the money and just spend back the money. And that's how it go. I learned that the hard way. And I've done so many things. I've had so many trial and error, right? And these are some things that I realized. So when I start doing my own thing again, I'm not make them mistake here. I'm not make them mistake there again. You understand what I say? Missy Gucci, I don't know what you're saying. But yeah, I'm not gonna make them mistake there again. You understand what I say? Because we want to learn. These are the things we want to talk to people about. You understand? I remember the first time I was about 19. Other than the little account them where they come in school and give you. Because everybody, when you were in Jamaica in primary school, everybody used to come, back in the days they used to give you a little white piggy bank, a little plastic piggy bank, right? And when them come in school or primary school, come open the account. And I used to always love when that happened. Other than that, my first time I independently opened an account, I was 19 years old. And I remember going into the bank, I don't know what to do, where to turn. You understand what I say? You know, if you go over personal banking or if you go over the side there, where if you go. From I had my kids in Jamaica, I brought, even though Theola would have been too young to understand, but I still brought them in, Malia in. Even since we came to Canada, I made sure that I took Malia to the bank, make sure understand and, you know, open the account with her and stuff like that. I love to do these things, so my kids have experience. So if them when she get old and she want to open another account on her own, it won't feel so scary for her. She'll go in confidently and know that I should go over that section to open my bank account. Most likely they're going to ask me for an ID, they're going to ask me for a first deposit, they're going to ask me certain things. So you have to know these things. You have to teach your kids and them something from before, right? I'm also say you must have you must have multiple streams of income. Yeah, you see, even a lot of these business people, no care how big and successful their businesses are, they might, a lot of them, more than likely, have another source of income. Even if it's not something that they're managing, they might have some shares or some stocks in other companies. And I'm talking about, but I feel like some people ever think they're ever too rich. No. I know someone over here right now in Canada, they own, and if you ever see the man, I'm simple. When I found out that the man owned the whole of them conglomerate business there, I couldn't believe. He's so simple. And the company, the whole company, all of them own, there were billions, right? And they now stop invest in other companies and buy out stocks and shares in other companies. And I'm like, this man is supposed to kind of sit down and rest a little bit now. You know what I'm saying? But no, stop. And one thing I believe in, if you have a service that you can provide, you must have a service, you must have a product, you must have a residual income, You must have something that, hi, hi, my mother. You know, you must have something. I think you must have at least three things just to start with. A service, and when we say service, it can be more than one services that you provide, product or products, and you must have something that makes money for you even when you're sleeping. You know what I mean? A lot of people right now are going into the trading thing, yeah, and they might do different things. You know what I mean? Social media. You know what I mean? But one thing I always tell people, because enough people bring some things to me, and yes, I see that it's working for them, and I see that it's working for other people. But the truth is, I can't do anything where me no love. I can't do nothing me no love. If I don't love it, I can't do it. And I always encourage people, it might sound cliche, but I truly believe that if you do what you love, you will never feel like you're working a day in your life. You know, people always say that. If you do what you love, you'll never feel like you work a day in your life because it's fun, you enjoy doing it. Sorry. So when people come to me about different things, the truth is I believe you that it is profitable because I see it's working for you or somebody else. But if I don't enjoy it, or if it's not something that speaks to me, I'm going to feel burdened by it. Never feel burdened by it. So try to do things that you love. There is a way to turn your passion into profit. There is a way. It's just for us to sit down. Right now you have so much things. Hi everyone. Hi Sam. Right now you have so much things to help you. Back in the days, we remember we literally have to go to the we literally have to go to we literally have to go to one moment. We literally had to go to what you call it? We literally had to go to the library, right? We literally had to go to the library back in the days. Right now, we don't have to go to the library. Information is at your fingertips. You know what I mean? It is at your fingertips. When you can just sit down and chat GPT and just get information. Try to find a way to turn what you love into a business. Go and chat GPT, ask different things. How can I monetize this? I'm good in that area. How can I turn this into a business? You know what I mean? How can I do that? Oh, one moment. Yeah, how can I ask to the AI? How can I do how can I turn what I love into a profitable business? Instead of sitting unless I use it for do foolishness or create lies and misinformation on the media, why don't you use it to build a business? Write a business plan. Do something like that. Why don't we use it in that way and not only to create misinformation and send out false narratives? Turn it into something and use it to do something positively. Let it do something with it positively. You understand what I'm saying? So honestly, as I tell you guys, I had plans to come on and exercise on live, but I just came home and just decided I'm gonna exercise. I just want to do it when I feel like doing it. I don't want to do it like a routine. I want it to be routine, but I know what I mean. When I'm in the mood, I just want to get going before I find a reason not to do it. So I cannot come home and just decide that I want to exercise now, I'm going to exercise. But I still say I'm going to come on the live, right? But it just came to my mind because I was talking to my mother earlier about, just financial freedom and how I want to set up myself and my kids for their future. You know what I mean? And plus, me always I think about what I can do even when I get older. What can I do to make sure that when I get older, I still do what I love to do. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that is something to, when you get older, if you don't occupy yourself and occupy your time and your mind, you get slow. And I think that's when you get ill. And a lot of people, when they retire, unfortunately, they pass away because they become so bored or so lonely. So I want to do things that occupies my body and my mind, and I stay young and fresh, and you know, lock up and stay inside and things. So I'm trying to make sure that the stuff that I'm building for my future are stuff that I'm going to enjoy doing no matter how, you know, old I get. But yeah, anyways guys, I'm gonna run. I just wanted to come on and chit chat with you guys a little bit. But I'm gonna run right now. I'm gonna go bed and cool off, then go bed and, you know, try to take an early night tonight. But I'm gonna try and come on. When little things come to my mind, instead of just not posting anything, I'm just gonna come on the live and talk and see who else might be interested in what I'm saying. Alright? But it was good seeing, you know, just talking tonight, and for everybody who passed through. Hope everybody's liked the video, well, like the live, you know, and if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Let's hope I can come. Oh, I might not. I'll try. No matter what time I come in, I'm still gonna try and go live. But anyways guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you again very soon. Yep, later.